Yeah, hey, welcome to XOXO Sharena's YouTube channel. In this video, we will discuss getting ready with me, of course, and how to reinvent yourself if you are within the age of 30. But honestly, this video is for anyone. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button and let's get into this video. It is New Year, New Me time. We're at the beginning of 2022. So why not have this full discussion about how to reinvent yourself? But this is mainly focused for those that are in their 30s. Not your 20s, in the 30s. Here's the thing, you're in your 30s, right? You're no longer 20. If you're in your 30s, you're probably a millennial. We've been through a lot. Let's be honest. Us millennials have been through a lot. With them, the short timing of living, we've been through a lot, and we're still going through a lot. And you may just be frustrated into the point where you're just like, you know what? I want change in my life. And I have to get this change. Or I'm just going to lose it. I'm just going to scream. I'm just going to go crazy. I get it. I'm basically like there with you. I've gotten to the point where I just want some change in my life too. Good change, but change within myself. To start with me first. So with getting this change, because child, I am almost 35, and it's just really dawning on me. It is sinking in that your girl is 5 years away from 40. Wow. And I just think it's time to, kind of like reinvent me. Now for me, reinventing myself is like basically just another, 0.0, 2.0 of 3.0, whatever number volume I'm on. It's just another volume, a better version, a level up, an extension of who I already am. Letting go of a lot of things that was a part of me years ago that no longer serves me, and then gravitating and moving on to everything that my future self would need, so that I can just be, the best her she can be. As I'm getting ready, I'm going to help you out with a few things that I have discovered that I want to work on, so that I can reinvent myself, and hopefully that'll help you reinvent yourself as well. First things first, I know it's like said so much, and if you are a self-help lover like me, you have heard this, you already know this. And sometimes we know things and we hear things so much that we ignore them, or they start to seem like so cliche that it's just like, okay, I know to do that, and then you continue on with your life. But instead of doing that this year, we're actually going to work on our mindset. And your mindset is so important, especially in your 30s, because, you're 30-something years old. You've been thinking one way. A lot of the ways you've been thinking aren't even your way of thinking. 9 times out of 10, you're still saying phrases. You're still thinking things that were taught to you as a child, or you heard them growing up so much that you say them. You might not even honestly believe those phrases, but you say them because that's what you're used to. I'll be surprised if once you start working on your mindset that you realize that you don't even really like believe the things that have been taught to you. Like money doesn't grow on trees. Oh, okay. You sure can make some pretty quickly nowadays, so might not grow on trees, but you can get it fast. I actually create like money blocks. That's the topic for a whole nother day. But anywho, so you have to first, like, how can you reinvent yourself when you're still thinking and doing everything the same way that you have previously? Like, you can't, you can't create a whole new person, but the mind still is the same. Because that whole new person on the outside is still thinking the same way, so therefore there's no progress. There was just a lot of work for entirely no reason, or just so that you can look cute. But internally, you're still the same, so you didn't grow. Then you'll have to start all the way back over from step one, and honestly, that is just counterproductive and a waste of time. I'm not a person that would tell you that you need to work on your mindset without telling you how. Because I really don't like when people try to tell you, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to change this and do this, but they never tell you how. How do I do these things? So I'm going to tell you with step two. How you do it is you change up what you're reading. Or if you're not reading anything, then you start reading. So you get books. Yes, self-help books are helpful. Honestly, I just personally think that you should read self-help books in the areas where you need help. So if you need help with finances, then you would read something like Dave Ramsey's book or Suze Orman's books. That's all I can think of. If you need help in the area of faith, then honestly, I like the Jakes. Bishop T.D. Jakes and Sarah Jakes. I love their books. Oh, and let's go back to finance. So the number one book people will always tell you is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But honestly, I read that book. I'm not really sure if I finished the book because I don't really remember that book for real being like as amazing as everyone says, but that's the number one book everybody goes to. But anywho, I'll list more books below of books that I've read, because in my 20s I stopped reading just for entertainment, and I wanted change in my life, so I started reading self-help books like crazy. And honestly, I just love those type of books, so that's what I gravitate to naturally. And once I started, I just kind of never really stopped. So I will try to do my best to list all the books that I can remember that are worth recommending, because there's some books that people just tell you to read because they were popular. But anywho, other than reading books, you may not be a person that feels like you can read a book. Now, here's the thing. You can always use YouTube when it comes to books. So, for example, Atomic Habits. I know right now I'm not going to sit down and read that book, but I can listen to the Audible on YouTube. So I listen to that, and then sometimes I listen to Rick Ross' book, Perfect Day to Boss Up. Those are just two books that I'm just kind of listening to. I get tidbits out of both, but I don't have time to sit there and read a book. Honestly, I do have time if I would cut the TV off. Let's be completely honest. But there's so much like black media, entertainment, movies, series, and I'm rooting for everybody black, so therefore I have to just, watch. Anywho, You make time for what you make time for, and while I work, I listen to something. And 9 times out of 10, I utilize YouTube to the best of my ability, and that's how I read books right now. Other than that, I really enjoy TED Talks. I used to listen to TED Talks all the time. Oh, and let's go back to finance. So the number one book people will always tell you is Rich Dad Poor Dad. But honestly, I read that book. I'm not really sure if I finished the book because I don't really remember that book for real being like as amazing as everyone says, but that's the number one book everybody goes to. But anywho, I'll list more books below of books that I've read, because in my 20s I stopped reading just for entertainment, and I wanted change in my life, so I started reading self-help books like crazy. And honestly, I just love those type of books, so that's what I gravitate to naturally. And once I started, I just kind of never really stopped. So I will try to do my best to list all the books that I can remember that are worth recommending, because there are some books that people just tell you to read because they were popular. But anywho, other than reading books, you may not be a person that feels like you can read a book. Now, here's the thing. You can always use YouTube when it comes to books. So, for example, Atomic Habits. I know right now I'm not going to sit down and read that book, but I can listen to the Audible on YouTube. So I listen to that, and then sometimes I listen to Rick Ross' book, Perfect Day to Boss Up. Those are just 2 books that I'm just kind of listening to. I get tidbits out of both, but I don't have time to sit there and read a book. Honestly, I do have time if I would cut the TV off. Let's be completely honest. But there's so much like black media, entertainment, movies, series, and I'm rooting for everybody black, so therefore I have to just, watch. Anywho, you make time for what you make time for, and while I work, I listen to something. And 9 times out of 10, I utilize YouTube to the best of my ability, and that's how I read books right now. Other than that, I really enjoy TED Talks. I used to listen to TED Talks all the time. TED Talks are really helpful. And the best thing, I do believe I haven't been on a website in a long time, but it used to be in categories. So whatever you need help with, you go to that category, you watch a TED Talk. That TED Talk doesn't work for you, go to another one. And then honestly, you can't really judge TED Talks because a lot of times they don't necessarily start the best, but you can always get something out of them. Your other option is podcasts. It's a great way to reinvent yourself, is to listen to other people that have done the things that you want to do, or they might have grown in certain areas or done certain things, or sometimes you just want to listen to somebody tell their story, their triumphant story, so that you can have some type of hope for yourself. Or maybe you just want tidbits of like how to run a business, like whatever it is, there's podcasts out there that you can most definitely listen to. So tip 1 is to work on your mindset. Tip 2 helps you with 1. Tip 2 is to listen to videos, listen to podcasts, read books, and utilize YouTube. Like, hello, this platform is here for a reason. Use it. Tip 3. So tip 3 is to change up your wardrobe. So how I was saying with your mindset, you change the outside, but you're not working on your mindset. So therefore, the internal change isn't helping with the external change. Well, tip 3 is the external change. And it's to change up your wardrobe, especially if you're still wearing stuff from years ago, and I mean years ago. If you're just throwing on a sweater and some jeans and running out the house, I do it all the time. Change up your outfit. Not only change up your wardrobe, but go to different places. Like, there's stores that I'm sure you never even stepped foot in. So online stores are great. So look into some online stores, but make sure you have like a good balance between quality and fast fashion. So fast fashion would be more of like Shein, Fashion Nova, but make sure you balance that. Oh, and Forever 21. Make sure you balance it though. There's H&M gives you good basics, but it also gives you more of like, if you go in like the career section, there's more items that you can pick out of there. And then even Express. I honestly forgot all about Express till someone brought it up the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know the last time I've been in Express, because I completely forgot about it. So go into these stores that you know of, like Macy's, Nordstrom's. Walk in those stores, look around, see what they're selling, how you can switch up your wardrobe. Moving on to step 4. Step 4 is to break old routines and work on new routines. So we can have routines that we need to stick to, like morning routines. Morning routines help you to set up your day. They help you to make it through the day. They help you to set intention, and just get you mentally prepared and ready to conquer whatever is already planned for that day. But then there's other routines that we just kind of need to stop. Routines that consist of more of the bad, negative routines. They consist of things like letting yourself down or disappointing yourself. For example, you say you're going to start working out, and then you keep pushing back when you're going to start working out. That becomes a routine in itself, that you routinely decide to not work out, so you're inconsistent and you're not getting the goals. But then when like spring, summer comes, you're not fitting the clothes, you're not doing the hot girl summer to the fullest extent you would want to. Why? Because at the beginning of the year, you weren't doing what you said you was going to do. So creating routines that help and benefit you, and then thugging them out, basically, so that you are consistent with those routines. Something that'll help you to be something that'll help you reinvent yourself. But then breaking routines, like I'm not going to talk to that ex, or I'm not going to go out with these people. I routinely say I'm not going to go to this place because when I go here, I do things that I don't got no business doing. Whatever those negative routines are that you not even realize that you do, those are the routines we break. And then now that we broke those routines and we have that space, now we have to fill them with things that we should be doing. So then we implement the good routines out for the bad routines. Swap those, and then you'll be able to reinvent yourself in ways that will most likely, honestly, surprise you. One that I fight myself with the most is routinely saying I'm gonna get on social media to promote, and then an hour later I sat back and just completely enjoyed social media without promoting not one thing that I was supposed to be promoting. Working on that. Because honestly, how can you reinvent yourself and have change if you're going to routinely keep doing the same exact things the same exact way? There's got to be routines that aren't necessary, they're not beneficial to you. Those things have to be cut out. so that you can make room for all the good things that, you know, should be in your life, all the good things that will help you progress to reinvent yourself and become the person that you are aiming to become. With that being said, try new things. How can you reinvent yourself? How do you know what your new self wants, likes, wants to go? This new reinvented person enjoys a certain kind of wine that you have yet to ever try. Maybe she has a hobby of doing things that you hold yourself back from because you have no one to do them with you. Which brings me to my next thought. It's not in my notes, but it is a thought. Sometimes when you are trying to reinvent yourself, you're going to leave some folks behind. Because there's some people that are just going to consistently remind you of who you used to be, just so they can validate why they don't understand who this new person is you're trying to become today. Don't feed into any of that negativity. Sometimes you just got to surpass a few folks so that you can get what you want out of your own life. Look, this is your life to live, no one else's. So if you are looking to reinvent yourself and you have those friends that keep on trying to will you back, they might be a part of those bad routines that you need to cut out. I love you, sis, but you know, this relationship might just have to adjust a little bit so I can become who it is that I want to become. Yeah, you're gonna get them comments like, ooh, you different, you acting different, ooh, you bougie, you brand new, girl, show is. I don't want the things that I have. I want to reinvent myself so I can get to the things that I want in my life, so I can take the next step, so I can progress. And I can't do those constantly going out every Friday, you know, to the club, getting drunk, blowing my check completely by Sunday night, trying to figure out how I'm gonna make it the next few weeks to get to that next check. I can't keep doing these same things over and over again. I can't keep living paycheck to paycheck. So I have to work on my mind by reading books, by listening to podcasts, so that I can work on my mind, myself. And then from there, I got to work on how I show up and present myself. I have to get me a planner so that I can work on my routines. I can set my days up so that I can keep taking avid steps every day to progress. And then lastly, you know, I just might have to try a few new things, you know, which is exciting, but you might have to experience them alone. And that's the part that a lot of people struggle with, is the alone part. But sometimes where you going ain't meant for the people that you got next to you, and you just have to get comfortable with that. If not, get comfortable with where you are. If you're not comfortable with, if your comfort zone is no longer your comfort, that's the first sign that you need to go ahead and start making some moves. You need to work on some things. You need to start reinventing yourself, because whoever your future her is, she at the door knocking. She waiting for you to make a change. She's waiting for you to adjust some things, maneuver some things, so that she can come out like she's been trying to do. I hope this video helped someone. I am basically ready for my day. Please understand that you're not alone. I am doing these same steps right along with you, and recording, vlogging, YouTubing along the way. As always, for watching and listening, to remember to put as much as possible in the description below for those that are in this stage and you want to reinvent yourself, no matter what age you are, so that you can become your best version of you.